Shrek, Dragon's Tale. This is for the V.Smile, a children's educational video game system. The story has Shrek and the gang trying to find a cure for their friend Dragon, who shoots fireballs every time she sneezes. This one's an isometric adventure, and you'll first start off learning about direction and looking for objects. Along the way, you'll be rescuing forest creatures, which will teach you spelling and occasionally finding treasure chests and solving math problems. In this stage, there are some Venus flytraps, and they're not very difficult to avoid at all. But I walked into one anyway, and Shrek makes this weird sounding groan every time he gets hit. You do have an energy bar, and you'll be able to switch between Shrek and Fiona on the fly. And it was neat to see an experience system in this game. That's something you don't see too often in V.Smile games. Shrek and Fiona both have attack moves you can use when you have to deal with enemies or hit certain objects. Here Fiona uses her kick attack on these trees, not only to find Puss in Boots, but to learn about multiplication. The game for the most part pretty much stays the same the whole way. Use direction to find objects, solve spelling, and math problems. There's very few enemies you have to fight along the way, which is really unfortunate. I do think it needed more of that to balance the learning and action a little bit more. There's a real lack of minigames too in the main adventure. A 10-second Puss in Boots game, and this platformer type game where you're looking for chess pieces and carrying them to the right position on the chessboard. And that's a pretty big disappointment too. Some more minigames probably really should have been in here. The final battle has you trying to cure Dragon by getting past the sneeze fireballs. This one teaches you about nouns and verbs. And you know what? I noticed that the math had some really high adding and subtracting numbers. The multiplication tests, nouns, and verbs. This game had some of the most difficult learning problems I've seen to date on a V.Smile game. And even the Learning Zone games on this had some things I haven't seen dealt with too often. The magic potion mixer has you choosing potions that are the proper fraction. Are We There Yet has you learning how to read a clock properly. You look at the clock and pick the proper time. Fairy Tale Book has you filling out words in a sentence. This is meant to teach you the past tense and the present tense in a sentence. And I do like the art used in this one, it's pretty cool. Finally, Pinocchio's Mission, and this one has to be one of the most unusual V.Smile games I have ever seen. You have to pick the false sentences in order to make Pinocchio's nose grow, so Gingy can walk across and get the key.
Ooh. Snake is a mammal. That's a lie. What should Pinocchio say? You did it! He is a bird. That's a lie.
Now I understand kids do learn about the concept of lying early on in their lives, but I'll tell you, it was really weird to see a video game based around that premise. It was just really unique. I don't think I've ever seen that done before. It's just strange. So overall, Shrek's Dragon's Tale is one of the harder V.Smile games, learning-wise. The main adventure game really lacked action, which I would say hurt it quite a bit. I really think it needed more of that. The Learning Zone games were interesting, but I would say they weren't too enjoyable either. So the game did have some great ideas, definitely. But sometimes you do have to balance the learning with just a little bit more fun. So there you have it, Shrek Dragon's Tale. Thanks for watching.